We're going to solve a problem from a textbook that involves adding three vectors. And while this problem says to add them using graphical techniques, we're going to do it numerically. So we're going to first identify what we're given, our three vectors. First, this roller coaster moves 200 feet horizontally. Then it moves 135 feet at an angle of 30 degrees above the horizontal. And finally, 135 feet at an angle of 40 degrees below the horizontal. The way we're going to add these is break each of those three vectors down into their x and y components. I like to show that using a table, where on the left I have the x components and the right the y components, and I'm breaking each of those vectors down. So as I do that, I may need to use trig functions. So I need to be mindful that I have the correct trig function for each component. And then I also need to be careful that I have my positive and negative signs correct based on the direction that the vector's headed. Then I add all the x components to get the resultant x component. I add all the y components to get the resultant y component. Now those two components are the legs on a right triangle. So Rx and Ry are my legs on a right triangle. So the last set of steps here is using the Pythagorean theorem to get the magnitude of the resultant, and use whatever your favorite trig function is to calculate the angle. In this example, I happen to have used tangent. This vector lies in quadrant 4.